As we launched the Iowa Shares campaign on the day before Thanksgiving, our expectation was that Thanksgiving would be a compelling motivation to Iowans to want to donate money to the Iowa Shares campaign to help ease the suffering of those starving, sick, dying Cambodian refugees who Governor Ray had photographed so graphically. On Monday, when Nikki Schissel, the young woman who with me was the two-person operation of Iowa Shares in the governor's office, went to the post office and came back with just a handful of envelopes. We were dismayed. It's, beyond that, I thought, oh my gosh, people don't care. This is how we're going to tell the governor this. The next day, when she went to the post office, she phoned and said, you have to send a truck. There's so much mail here that I can't possibly carry it back myself. And envelopes and letters came pouring in to our post office box. And we were so overwhelmed, we engaged a special service at one of the banks that would open and catalog and record and deposit the money. And by mid-December, we had several $100,000, all from individual contributions from Iowans who would mail in $5, $10, $25. There was one, and only one, corporate contribution from Pioneer Hybrid International, who gave us $25,000 very generously, but every other penny came from individual Iowans all over the state, writing a note, writing a check, sending it to us. There were some incredible stories. We get a note from a young boy said, I've had my Christmas money from my parents. Here it all is, and that use it to buy food for those starving Cambodians. One woman sent us her wedding rings. She said, I don't have any money, sold my wedding rings so you have money to feed those tragic people who are suffering so much. We sent her wedding rings back to her with profuse thanks for her incredible generosity. And there were so many stories like that. And so mid-December, we have several $100,000. Now what would we do with it? How would we translate it into that life-giving, life-saving aid? So I started calling up the large international organizations that deliver relief to people during disasters. And certainly they all were willing to take our money. And what I would say to them, well, we need to know that every penny is going to go to the refugees. And we would hear back, well, first of all, we're sure that some of the money would go. Of course, there's an administrative fee that we have to take off every contribution. Maybe it's 3%, 5%, whatever the amount. That's the only way we can operate. It's an understandable point of view, but wasn't what the governor had been telling Iowans. Every penny will go to feed these hungry and starving people. And so finally, I spoke to one organization operating in Thailand, Catholic Relief Services. And I'm on the phone with a priest, Monsignor Robert Charlebois, and I'm talking with him, and I said, I have all this money, and how can we get food and medicine to the Cambodian border, and do you take a fee? And he said, no fee, we'll just use your money, we have contacts here, we'll go out, we'll buy food, we'll buy medicine, I'll rent the trucks to get there. And I said, you can do this, where do I send the money? Don't worry, I'm going to go out and get it. I know you're good for the money. You'll send it to us. And so suddenly this operation of delivering food and medicine is going forward thanks to this wonderful Monsignor Charlebois. The Des Moines Register said, we have to send a reporter there They go to the newsroom, 1979, who has a passport? Well, there's only one reporter with a passport, who was the religion editor, who runs down, gets a ticket, gets on the plane, and arrives in Thailand around December 20th. The trucks are assembled, a handwritten sign on kind of a white big piece of material, gifts from the people of Iowa, is put on the side of the trucks. The food is loaded up, the medicine. The convoy of relief is on its way to this tiny area known as Sa Kaew, where Governor and Mrs. Ray and I had first witnessed that tragic scene of all of those 30,000 plus human beings suffering, starving, emaciated, dying before our eyes. The trucks arrived there on December 24th. And so, as Iowans got up on Christmas morning and picked up their Des Moines Register off their front porch and opened it up, the headline said, "Our gifts reach refugees." Could there have been a more perfect moment in that Christmas spirit than that moment, that culmination of the food and medicine bought as a result of thousands of Iowans sending in small amounts of money, what our state could do together when motivated by an incredible, heroic governor and supported by marvelous Des Moines Register newspaper, Michael Gartner, the religious leaders of all the faiths in our community. Then having that food and medicine symbolically from the land that had been so blessed by God that Pope John Paul II had described. Life-giving assistance reaching those people. Iowa was indeed sharing that day, that Christmas day of 1979.